everyone. I'm here with your September 23rd until September 28th weekly prediction. Okay, this is a pick a card. So with these pick a card readings, it's very self-explanatory. You decide to pick one of the four piles. Okay, so it's pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. If you feel called to pull more than one pile, that's fine. Like I said, just trust your intuition, trust your gut. Whenever you pick these pick a card readings, they are to give you the overall prediction and advice for the week coming, okay? Now, once again, it's okay to pause the video if you want to give yourself a second to kind of sit back and really trust your instinct on which pile you want to pick. Like I said, it's fine to pick more than one. Just trust your gut. So let's get straight into this reading. I'm going to be starting with group 1, then I'll move to group 2, group 3, and group 4. Like I said, the timestamps will be in the description. So let's get started. Okay, so group 1, you have a lot of energy around the heart chakra this week. So you're going to want to definitely pay more attention to your heart center, how you love, if you have blocks around your heart. A lot of the times when this energy comes up too, I'm feeling that a lot of you have a barrier around your heart. Sometimes in life we'll say, I've always been this way, so deal with it. Or because of this, I have been able to accomplish A, B, and C, and D in my life, and I'm not changing that for anybody. But what happens when we get into that mentality of getting too stubborn in what we are used to or stuck in, or even certain personality traits, is we wonder why we keep getting the same of what we don't want. But if you're being stubborn to change, and right now is definitely not the time to be against changing. You know, if you've always been a very, let's just say, boisterous person, or let's just say I've always had a shield around my heart, so why would I stop doing that now? It's protected me this far. It's saying to you that change is coming, and change is here this week. We are shifting into the fall equinox. So if you try to hold on to those old ways of being because it's always been that way, you'll find yourself having a harder time this week. So be open to love. And if you do have a barrier, whether it's your wall up with people, or your wall up with a lover, or a wall up just with the world, I would suggest that you start working on protecting your energy space. And it is a difference from allowing certain energy in and not allowing certain energy within your space. If someone is negative, talks down to you, makes you feel uncomfortable to where you can't trust your intuition, of course, get that space that you need. But it's a difference from having a shield of protection, spiritually speaking, and having a wall up that is repelling actually what you want to bring into your life. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes old ways are needed to be shifted and changed, and different points of view will definitely have to be brought in for this week for my group 1. Now, the overall stone that you received is opal. Okay, so opal is your stone, and the message with this card is, do you enjoy scholarly activities and mind-bending projects? Do you have a brilliant mind that craves stimulation? It is time to embrace concepts that seem at first glance far out of the ordinary. Activate your higher mind by taking the time to further your education. Embrace the power of knowledge. Okay, so I think that does kind of tie into the energy I was feeling of being open-minded, even if it seems unrelated to what you're used to. And the affirmation you have this week is, I am an intelligent being. I am smart enough to be aware that new information is always available for discovery. Deep wisdom is innate within me. My entourage of angels orchestrate my life. I am repetitive and I have the gift of insight. So once again, this energy around intuition, your insight, and feeling certain barriers, feeling certain energy with some things that kind of keep your space. And I definitely say trust your intuition, but keep in mind that your vibe attracts your tribe. What you think becomes your reality. So if we constantly tell ourselves that, we'll realize that, hey, if I've always been on the defense that people are trying to attack me or want something from me, then I'm only going to keep attracting more of that. That's why I started out by saying it's a difference between balance and barriers. Group one, balance and barriers is really what I'm feeling for you all. Now let's get into the cards. Group one, you have the Knight of Coins. So it's so much earth energy being pulled in this week. Like I said, you do have to watch that stubbornness, and slow but steady wins the race this week. You don't have to try to overly push yourself when it comes to anything. But with that being said, don't be overly stubborn. For those of you who have been procrastinating, I would at least start preparing for what it is that I want to bring into my life. It doesn't mean you have to rush in full throttle and buy the car this week. Not really that energy. It's more of sitting back, looking over what cars I want to buy or what house I want to move into, but not necessarily making the move so quickly this week. Okay, you also have the snake here. Once again, if you notice, we have the number 7. 7 of Wands with the 7 of Swords, with the 7 within the snake card. So with this number, it's funny because the number 7 is a very spiritual number, but it's about rigid belief systems, being stuck in our way of thinking. And it's not as fluent as the energy of 9, which deals with the flow of understanding everything, kind of deals with synchronicity and relates in some way. So if you have rigid belief systems, rigid habits or ways of being, and people have kind of called you out on this, I would listen to them this week. They probably are coming from a place of honesty. Now, keep in mind, like they say, don't take criticism from people who you don't go to advice from. So don't take criticism from people who you don't go to advice for. So what I mean by that is, yes, be open-minded, but also don't know that difference, like I said, between having a defense up and being able to listen to your intuition. Because the more you let that defense down, your intuition will always be there like a watchdog to let you know these people who you can and cannot trust. And people who want to constantly compete with you or compare what they have to what you have, these are people who you want to allow to shift out of your life going into the fall. The fall is about harvesting and letting go. We're changing out of the summer into the fall. So we have to release and pick the bad apples from the good apples. So watch it, because if you're feeling like people are against you this week, like I said from the jump, make sure that you don't have this negative mentality of always thinking people are against you. But if you are balanced and this week is one to where you are kind of taking it slow and you are taking the advice in mind, then this can definitely be a red flag to watch your back. Don't be so open to let people back into your life who have proven to be sneaky. And, and don't think that you can be sneaky and try to get away with things and think that you won't be found out, because you will this week. So you just want to watch it. Now, with the last card that we have being the 7 of Wands in reverse, this energy deals with, once again, comparing yourself to others and also standing up for yourself. This is not a week to where you have to be sneaky. Oh, don't worry. You thought that you did something to me. I'll get you back later. No, this is, yes, it is more of a sit back and watch energy, but it's saying stand up for yourself and be real. Like, be a woman about it. Be a man about it. If you have something that needs to be talked about as an adult, learn how to do that. Sometimes we try to do this sneaky behavior or this vengeful type of energy. And it's like, that never really pays off in the end. And you wonder why you attract more of that. So whether this is people doing this to you, sneakiness, or you doing it to others, it's not the week for that. It's the week to embrace change, and healing through tough change. Okay. Healing through change. Okay. So stand up for yourself, speak your truth. Don't allow these snakes in the grass to come in and take what you have worked so hard for. Okay. But it's an approach that you can have with this energy. You don't have to go all crazy and off the, just go off and things like that. But it is saying, make sure that you definitely speak up for yourself and say what needs to be said, okay? So hope this helped in some way. Group 1, I'm going to move on to group 2. If you ever need to get a private reading with me, you can do so by emailing me at crystalneath@gmail.com. Besides that, have a great week, and I will talk to you later. All right, group 2. So we have the Queen of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Polar Bear, okay? So very powerful energy coming into this week. You're going to shift between feeling super energized and ready to take on the world and needing rest. So that's okay if group 2, you're feeling this up and down shift of introvert, extrovert type energy. That's perfectly fine, because the Queen of Wands, she goes out to help spread her passionate her passionate word to the world. That's hard to say. And she's very driven. She's very warm. Everything she does comes from a place of truth and authenticity. She doesn't do things just for show. She's very honest about the woman who she's grown into be. So even if you're a man, you can be attracting a woman who does have this heavy Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy. It does give us the beautiful fire energy to move into this fall equinox that we are going into this week. Okay, so you're going to be noticing a lot of ideas are coming to you. I should almost say passions, a lot new passions, new things that you want to start. You're going to be attracting a lot of fiery people that want to be a part of this journey that you're on, which is amazing with the Queen of Wands. I love her energy because she fights for what she believes in. And because she fights for what she believes in, she's open to listening to what other people need. So I'm really hearing this word of like diplomacy for group 2. So be open to other people's point of view and be careful on what you say this week, because people are listening more than you realize. And sometimes we just let our mouth go off, or we don't think before we speak, and then we have consequences later on. And the Queen of Wands is definitely listening and hearing everything that you're speaking and saying this week. So you really want to be careful on the things that you manifest. Now, as far as your card, your stone, you have Blue Tiger's Eye. Okay, Blue Tiger's Eye is your stone for the week. And it says, are you looking at something from only one angle? Do you need to rise above a situation to see greater clarity? It is time to take action steps to gain new perspectives on life. Trust your ability to see things and read situations clearly. Inner visions and dreams are helpful tools for self-knowledge. And the affirmation this week for group 2 is, it is easy for me to see beyond the obvious. I accurately read between the lines and hear what is not said. I am grateful for the deeper insights and awareness available to me. My higher perspective provides me with safety. I am divinely protected. So once again, it's so funny. Now we get into this like protection energy, and we also have the polar bear here, which is all about security and stability, and someone is protecting you, whether it's your angels, whether it's your guides, a woman or a man in your life who just really stands up for you. Security is amazing this week. Don't question money. Will security be there? Will I find a home? None of those questions need to be present this week. When you're feeling that anxious energy or worry energy around your security, know that it's already being provided and it's already taken care of. You have someone who's coming into your life and or already present who wants to be everything that you need them to be as a provider. But you have to allow it, because I'm feeling that some of you all are a bit defensive and are not being open to this help. You know, so often we pray for a partner, or we want love, or we want this, we want that. And then when it actually comes, we have this overly defensive way about us that blocks us from being able to allow these blessings in. So if you feel that way, once again with the Four of Swords, it's saying just take a rest. Rest. Take your meditation serious this week. A lot of times I hear so many people, you know, who say, oh, my life is horrible. I can't get over this. I can't get past that in my life. And it's because the Four of Swords is all about rest. And when you think about rest, it does have an energy of repetition associated with it. Every night you sleep, every night you have to get that rest in. So why do we think that we can shortcut when it comes to our spiritual self-work that we need to do? And everybody is different. You know, some people, I definitely feel like between me and my husband, I'm the one who has to stay consistent on my spirituality every single day. Affirmations, attaining new knowledge, things like that. I feel like he was kind of born with it in him. So I feel like he doesn't have to go as hard as I do every single day. But ultimately, it depends on where you're coming from. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling tired this week, take a break. The Four of Swords is saying you will be supported, and the security and the finances and whatever you need will be there for you, but you have to believe it. You have to trust that energy, okay? Also with the Four of Swords, a lot of you all, like I said, your dreams will bring so many visions this week. Just pay attention to it. Sometimes we don't know right then and there what our dreams and our intuition is trying to tell us. But if you take a step back and keep a dream journal this week, you can really see that a lot of things that you believe in are being manifested. So this is amazing energy of stability, security, repetition, routine, and passion. Okay. And for everyone, I heard the overall word of healing through change. And so your change is coming from a place of knowing when to go hard and push for what it is that you passionately believe in and want to get done. And knowing when to make that change of rest, because you are bringing in a lot of finances. You are bringing in a lot of security coming into this fall equinox. So be excited about that. If you know any Leo, Aries, Sagittarius people, I would link up with them this week. They'll bring a lot of strong, powerful, fiery, like inspirational energy to your life. Some of you might even be a fire sign or have this as a heavy placement within your chart, sun, moon, or rising. So yes, keep that in mind, you all. Beautiful week, one of rest, one of passion, one of security. If you need to get a private reading with me, you can do so by emailing me at crystalneath@gmail.com, and I will see you next week. All right, group 3, we have the card of the Five of Swords to start off the reading. We also have Judgment that came out, the Ace of Swords, and the Home card, okay? Now, your stone that you received was channeling quartz, okay? And I'm actually going to start your reading off with your message that came with your stone and also your affirmation for the week. And it says, do you feel inspired? Are you using your inner guidance to follow your own sacred path? You are an instrument and a channel of knowledge and wisdom. Use this wisdom as you travel forward in your daily life to create, write, and be or do anything you want. Your potential is unlimited. And the affirmation is, I'm divinely inspired. I use the information that is delivered into my consciousness for the good of all. I take positive action using the wisdom of those who have walked this path before me. I am a channel of love, light, and well-being, okay? So now let's get into the cards. So a lot on your mind this week, a lot about change, making decisions. I mean, you have one of the biggest cards of change. You literally have the Judgment card. So this is a huge week, a huge shift that's actually going to take part for the next, this effect of this week is going to have an outcome on the next 1 to 4 months of your life. So please keep that in mind. Let's start with the first card of the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is not a favorite card of the tarot because it deals with arguments, pettiness. Have you ever seen like an old couple that just bickers, or a person or family members that just, every time they get around each other, it's like something negative in them just wants to argue or has to say something negative. Or, you know, that coworker, when you go to work, you know, you might be feeling yourself. You might be, you know, ready to take the week on, and then you walk in and they just have What do you think? You think you look good this week? Or why are you dressed up? Or why do you? It's just that negative Nancy mentality. And so watch out for people trying to come for you this week. Your mentality and your clarity, if you take the higher role, will be just fine. You'll be able to get around these people. But this shift through healing for you is happening through your words and how you speak and who you give your energy to. It's hard for a person to fight and argue with someone who isn't fighting and arguing with them back. But if you feed that and give your energy away, this will be a week to where you don't want to play. Your energy is going to be already kind of like up, down, up, down. So with that being said, you don't have any room to give your positive energy to people who don't appreciate it. And if you notice that people are having these negative mentalities, or even if it's you, you have to check yourself, because the siren for you is going to be, are you going to keep up these negative thoughts that you have about yourself? Are you going to keep arguing with your ex? Are you going to keep letting your ex control your life as you're trying to move forward and gain a peace of mind? Well, then do it. But we're moving into the fall equinox. So this is the fall of the year. This is when things get real. Don't get me wrong, the fall is an amazing time of harvesting and just beauty. I love the fall. But for some of you all, if you keep this arguing up, or if you keep this negative mentality up, or this fearfulness up, is going to cause you some issues. And your angels, God, whatever you want to look at it, karma is going to show you this week exactly what you've created. So keep in mind. So if you keep up the stress, you keep up the anxiety, you keep up the arguing, well, you'll just keep getting more of that. A lot of you all are going to feel called to do certain things. I do feel like a small group of you are actually moving this week and or traveling. You're moving into a new home. You have ideas for remodeling a home. And I think that that's amazing things to kind of start prepping this week. Anybody who was having issues within their home or the people around their home, you can ask for assistance this week from your angels, from God, to help kind of clear the energy and lift it so that you can have a peace of mind. I do feel that ideas will be flowing in like crazy for this group. You will be able to just communicate in ways that you normally wouldn't. The beginning of the week might start off a bit rough with the 5 of Swords, but towards the end of the week, towards Thursday or so, you'll be really able to ground yourself and know what is worth speaking about and what isn't. Okay. I also like that with this energy of the home, it speaks of that, we can't control the energy that people bring to work. We can control how much we allow it around us to a certain extent. That's why when I used to work before I was a full-time reader, I would always keep stones on me, black tourmaline, tiger's eye. I would always start my day off with positive daily readings and infinite waters and astrology forecasts, because it really preps your mind so that you don't allow the pettiness to get to you. But with all that being said, we can do certain things to repel certain energy. But I mean, to be honest, we have to be around the people at work or, that we live with, that, this is who we have, but we have to make the best of it. And it's saying this week is a week to focus more on home. How is your home reflecting you? Is your home hectic? Is it stressful? Well, then you need to start to put your mind in a place that takes you far out of that place. Start creating a resume or working on your credit or doing things to move you past that energy that keeps you in a stressful home situation. Okay. I actually think this week will be positive for you all, but it's all about how you think and how you speak and how you strategize this energy. Okay. And definitely not the time to be bringing up old relationships, old people. No, it's we've gotten to this place of separating the good apples from the bad apples, okay? So we don't want to mix it all together again and just have to do the same process over. Okay, but the home card is saying that it promises you peace coming with housing or with where you want to live. Or this will be a great week to visualize, like making a dream board of where you ultimately want to live, off the beach, by the water, in the woods, in a city, whatever it is. Your home is a reflection of you. So keep that in mind. If your home is reflecting in a negative way, well, we need to fix some things, okay? Something you might want to look into is like feng shui, things like that would help this week. Definitely also with the energy of the home, it deals with like our children and our family, and make sure that that's kind of like your safe haven this week. And if you're noticing that even in your home that this is where the issues are coming from, well, then you're going to have to get back to the drawing board with Ace of Swords and find a new way of connecting with people who love you, okay? Now, really what I'm feeling overall for this group, 3, if you ever need to get a private reading with me, you can do so by emailing me at crystalneath@gmail.com. Besides that, have an amazing week, and I'll see you later. Okay, in group 4, ooh, very interesting energy for group 4. You are going to have a week of straight up new beginnings. Like, it is, you are feeling called to move, literally move housing, travel. A lot of you all are going to be traveling, starting new projects. Now, still with this beautiful energy that you have to start all these new things, remember, it still is a start. So everything doesn't have to be exactly into place like you want it to be. But you have the passion. You're ready to start over. You're ready to get your finances under control. You're coming out of feelings of being like left out in the cold. You're sick of a victim mentality, whether it's you playing the victim or other people playing the victim around you. A lot of you all are coming out of relationships that have made you feel less than, or like you weren't important enough. And this energy of the fall equinox is bringing a major change in healing for you, and it's coming with the blessing of a new beginning. Pay attention to this week, because a lot of this week is going to mirror itself in October and also March of 2020. So just be ready for that. A lot of you all are going to be buying new vehicles also this week, looking into buying new cars, new means of transportation, voyages. You're just ready to break free, and it's okay. This energy can be a bit unsettling for some of you all. It'll be a bit scary because you're going to feel a pull, and some of you won't know what this pull is, and it'll cause you to kind of get a bit stressed. But if you just relax and sit back and ask God, Spirit, your angels to show you what this is, oh, it'll be there in no time to help guide you, whether it comes from a friend who calls you with a business opportunity, or, somebody who, wants to give you a more of a credit line or something like that. I don't know. But it's beautiful energy. This is amazing. Okay, let's get into your card. You have the stone, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, of Argonite. Okay, and it says, are you ready to serve? Do you feel guided to start or resume yoga classes? Listen and follow your inner guidance. Allow love into your heart and focus on finding a cure for all suffering. Lovingly devote your energy to purification, meditation, and self-realization. And the affirmation with this is, I acknowledge the storehouse of spiritual wisdom within. I trust my inner voice and follow my inner guidance. I am a willing channel for divine inspiration and creative solutions. I enjoy regular yoga practice. I meditate with ease and grace. So as you see, it's kind of funny because even the Fool here, he's kind of like stretching, and putting his chest out to the world. And I know you all, trust me, I'm not a yogi, I'm not a yoga instructor, but I know that it's certain yoga poses, like even like the oh my gosh, I don't even want to slaughter like and say it's called down dog, but I don't know. But it's when you put your body is at a tilted angle, kind of like a triangle, and your head is at the ground. And when you're in that position to where you are facing the ground like that, it causes you to have all the blood rush to top of your temple, which brings us to the third eye, as I was speaking about, which deals with spiritual awakenings and being able to connect with whatever like if you're a star seed, being able to connect even more with whatever constellation or higher power or whatever it is that you believe in, that you ultimately came from, source energy. So it's really an amazing thing. So group 4, I am feeling that you all should really look into like meditation, faraway travels. Like if you normally know a lot about like Western medicine, study Eastern medicine, looking into more holistic ways of even living your life with this group, because also it says that knowledge comes through faraway practices and different things. And I'm just really feeling a very spiritual connection, that if you are able to open up to new belief systems and or spiritual practices, it's really going to help you and take you a long way this week. A lot of times too, with the 5 of coins, you all, some of you are just coming out of a breakup or a financial rut. And I think once again, like they say, when you detach from everything, you attract everything. So when you're attached to nothing, you attract everything. I guess that's a better way of saying it. We get so attached to these relationships, to even our children, to these jobs. And then when they end, we end. When they end, we go into depression. And it really asks you to look at, where are you placing your power this week? Because this is the week to where I feel like, if you want that new start, you can have it. If you want to come out of feelings of abandonment and or financial debt or loss or poverty or being judged by others, by you just expressing yourself and being yourself, you are going to bring so many new blessings into your life. Whether it's, I've always wanted to travel. I've never been able to get out of my state or my country. And it's just going to help you in so many ways. I'm also hearing like astro projection for some of you all. So pay attention to your sleep patterns. Pay attention to these meditative states that you're in when you are just, I would highly suggest group 4, meditate for 3 minutes a day if you can. 3 minutes. We can do everything else. I'm sure if you look at your history of how long you've been on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, it's extremely more than 3 minutes. So take 3 minutes out of your day to just be quiet and just breathe and just be still. Even sometimes like when I'm in the shower, I'll put on like positive vibrational frequencies just to listen to subconsciously while I'm showering. So do things like that and you'll notice an energy boost and shift. But I'm loving this energy. I feel that you all are going to be ready for new things. You're ready to come out of feeling outcasted. You're ready to come out of any financial difficulties that you've been facing. You are ready to face the world on just period. And I love it. And I feel that you'll do it even quicker through learning that you are a co-creator within your reality. And that once you get that in your brain, you'll start to manifest even more at a higher level. This week, once again, is going to mirror October. And then you're going to have another awakening around March. And it's going to show you how all of those dots were connected from this very week. So keep that in mind. Move forward, you all. Have a beautiful week. Try new things. Get outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to look crazy if you just want to dance or scream or laugh. Like the Fool cards gives you the energy to do that. Also keep in mind too, with the Fool card, is saying don't go back. Don't go back to that situation that made you feel outcasted or unloved or poor. Start something new. All right. So I hope this helped in some way, group 4. If you ever need to get a reading with me, you can always do so by emailing me at crystalneath@gmail.com. Besides that, have a great day and I will see you later.